What's shaking, Rebels pals? It's Andi Gutierrez walking and talking to you for the last time for a few weeks. But don't worry, I have a fun-filled episode ahead that I'm sure you're gonna love. So, are y'all ready to talk about some X-Wings? Good, because Rebels Recon starts right now. Starting the attack on Loth-wolf, Hera leads a squadron of X-Wings against the Empire, but quickly realizes that they are no match for Thrawn's forces.
Phoenix Leader, I'm picking up enemy fighters at point 3.
Witnessing the destruction of Hera's group, Kanan decides to lead a rescue mission of his own, but not before getting stopped by a mysterious Loth-wolf.
I understand.
Narrowly escaping, Hera sacrifices herself to save Chopper and Mart, leading to her capture by the hands of the Empire.
Such a small victory.
This week, the Rebels teamed up with Mart Matin again, minus the rest of the Iron Squadron. I sat down with the crew to talk about the whereabouts of the Iron Squadron, how X-Wings finally made it into Star Wars Rebels, and settled an age-old question: who's a better pilot, Hera or Poe? Check it out. Mart makes his return in Rebel Assault, but I've got to ask, where's the rest of the Iron Squadron? Where's Goody? Johnner?
We had a discussion about this, a serious discussion about this, and Lieutenant Terez.
Oh, okay, cool.
You okay? All right.
Okay.
She actually was probably the brains of them. She's the most reasonable one. She knows what's going on. Mart's a hothead who has something to prove. Johnner just wants space pancakes, let's face it.
They're back at Yavin.
Just chilling?
Yeah, going over very important rebel plans. If you think about it too, if we'd put them in other planes, they'd have been shot down and might not have made it through because of character count issues.
X-Wings make their first appearance in this episode. Where have they been?
For the longest time, the idea was that the X-Wings were going to be a version of the clone fighters that were going to be ending the Clone Wars. Because we saw their ARC 170s. We saw stuff that was pointing in the direction that the X-Wing was gonna come had the Clone Wars continued. But they ended, and then the Empire was in power.
There actually was a little bit of thinking to the X-Wings because we did start with that geometry, that mesh. But then, because we had changed the TIE fighters to sort of have that more 70s toy vibe, the question came up, well, should our X-Wings be exactly the X-Wings that you see in the movies, or would it be better if we just tweak them a little bit so that they flow with everything we've seen before? So we did tweak it. It's a sort of a two-step thing where you look at what it really looked like, then you figure out how can you slightly play with those proportions to have it feel like it fits into Rebels. And then from there, you have to figure out strategically which bits of all that sort of detail to take off to simplify it down.
It's another one of these things that you can't stray too far from. Even when you see the X-Wings in Ep 7, you're still like, they're different, but it's still the same thing. You have to still present it in a way that everyone's going to recognize it immediately.
It was so cool to animate X-Wings. It's like a dream come true. It's like you grow up with it and you see the trench run and everything and you're like, finally. I think the biggest thing X-Wings will do is a lot more of the spins and things. So we have a lot more of those barrel rolls. They also have obviously the wings that can open and close and stuff depending on what they're doing. But I think also their cockpits. We went right back to the originals and looked at all that stuff about how much sort of movement there was in the cockpit and tried to kind of emulate that. So there's a lot more sort of a herky-jerky kind of feel, which I think just kind of throws it back, which is pretty cool.
It still has this feeling of, yes, I've been waiting for this, and now to have Hera in it makes it even better. If they had just shown up and it was somebody else flying it, that'd have been okay, maybe goody, but when it's Hera, I think everybody was excited, and I think it's the right way to do it.
Hera pulls some impressive moves in her X-Wing. Who's a better pilot, her or Poe?
Oh man.
Oh boy. Oscar Isaac, please turn off this video. Don't look at this. Hera.
Yeah.
Hera's better.
In my opinion, Hera has more experience than Poe. Hera has been flying a transport with the skill of a fighter pilot and beating multiple fighters.
It's probably because I know more about what she does and what she's done, and I've seen her pilot in some pretty amazing things, so I'm gonna have to go with Hera.
I think she's just talented. I think she's gifted. She works hard, of course, and trains, but she loves flying. It's when she feels the most like herself. And I think in life, one of the goals is you have to figure out what you love to do and then go after that. And so she did. And she would love flying whether she's a fighter pilot or just flying. So I think that's kind of at the core of who she is.
Not only is Hera flying an X-Wing, but she's leading a whole X-Wing squadron. What is it about Hera that you think makes her the right person for this role?
There's something innately fearless about her. When she's doing something for the right reasons, she knows no fear. Her ability to fly so well and remain so focused, I think gives her that ability to sort of bark out directions and help save everyone's lives. lives. And I think some people are just born with that innate ability, and she is a pilot through and through. I don't think anyone's better qualified. She was born to fly.
On his way to rescue Hera, Kanan is stopped by a white Loth-wolf and seems to understand its purpose. Can you give us any hints as to what this means before your hiatus?
You start to get an understanding that Kanan is learning about what these wolves are and how they relate to him. The hero sometimes just needs a bit of a guide or a way to focus his thoughts and understanding, and that's what the wolves are doing. So he already knows the truth of what's going on in his life and what he needs to do to be the person he's meant to be. Guides can only get you so far, and then you have to take action. You have to own the action. So there's a bit of all that going on.
Oh, man.
Yeah, what a great episode.
Nice.
I love X-Wing.
X-Wings are cool. Get him, little guy.
Yeah, I know that's you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Zap him. Oh, my.
Oh, no, that sucks.
Oh gosh, are you okay?
Wow.
That was weird.
That was really weird.
I can't believe we only have a few more episodes left for me to bug the Lucasfilm Story Group's Pablo Hidalgo with your pressing Rebels questions. I'm gonna miss those times we share. But now's not the time to get misty-eyed about it. You need Star Wars answers? Let's go. Man, where's Pablo? Oh, hey Pablo. I just walked past here and didn't even see you.
What's going on, Andy?
So I've got a question from Campbell Taylor.
Oh, okay.
In this point in time, are stormtroopers joining the Empire from loyalty or fear? Also, why isn't the Empire advertising the Death Star, as it could cause great intimidation towards people who don't serve the Empire?
Well, as far as stormtroopers go, it kind of depends where you are in the galaxy, but for the most part, at this point in the timeline, they're joining up because they actually believe in the Empire, because they don't see the stories that we see. Now, as far as the Death Star goes, remember, it's not fully operational until A New Hope, so the Empire is not ready to advertise it quite yet.
Okay, fair enough. Our next question comes from Jeb Hogue. Did Ezra forget he could move objects with the Force while he and Sabine were hefting that hyperdrive around?
You know, hauling a heavy object over a long trek through the wilderness, I don't think that's something Ezra's capable of.
I feel like that would require like a ton of strength. Not many Jedi could do it.
No, you could lift it, you could put it down, but in terms of long distance hauling, that's when you rent a truck.
All right. Well, thanks, Pablo.
No problem.
See you around. Have questions about Rebel Assault or anything else about Rebels you want answered? Tweet it to @StarWars using the hashtag Rebels Recon, and we'll answer what we can online. And now, I know this is normally the part in the episode where I give you a sneak peek of next week, but I felt like it would be wrong to tease you for that long, so I'm just gonna smile at the camera uncomfortably until we cut away. Okay, that's good. Thanks for watching Rebels Recon. We'll be back in a few weeks with a brand new episode. But if you need more Rebels info in the meantime, check out the episode guide for Rebel Assault on StarWars.com right now. Thanks again, and may the Force be with you.